Thank you once again for making Locked On Cougars your first view and or listen of the day. Jake Hatch with you here. All right, let's talk BYU basketball before we go here. BYU improves to 5-0, 87-43 over the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils at the Marriott Center on Saturday night. So not all BYU teams lost. And oh, by the way, I should also say, big shout out to the BYU men's and women's cross country teams, double national champions. That is impressive stuff. Ed Eyestone, Diljit Taylor, y'all deserve to pat yourself on the back, take a deep bow, because y'all brought home the hardware. BYU, I guess we should say it, is a cross-country school. So congratulations to the cross-country teams. Monumental effort for them to win that. And really, really cool. Ed Eyestone, once again, Diljit Taylor, they deserve a ton of the credit, but also their athletes showing up on the biggest stage in cross-country in the national championships and bringing home a double national championship to Provo, Utah. All right. Now back to basketball for a moment. BYU wins this game 87-43, and it really wasn't even that close. BYU had this one from the get-go. This was a scheduled win. Mississippi Valley State spends most of their non-conference slate just barnstorming across the country, and they collect a bunch of checks, and they routinely get beat. They are 1-4, I think, on the season, speaking of the Delta Devils. But in this game, things that we learned about BYU basketball. Well, it's good to have Dallin Hall back. Now, I mentioned this to our Locked On Cougars Insider group, I believe. So, by the way, another plug, if you haven't joined the Locked On Cougars Insider group, you would have known a few weeks back that Dallin Hall was dealing with a toe issue that has been the reason why he's been sitting out so far. It was good to see him back in the lineup starting for BYU in this game, and I think it comes at a perfect time. He got some game time on the court as BYU gets ready now to head to San Diego to face off against Ole Miss on Thursday on Thanksgiving. It's good to see him on the court, and I thought he was actually very, very solid. 10 points, 3 of 7 shooting. All of those, by the way, all 3 of his made shots and attempts coming from beyond the arc. 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. He adds 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Really, really impressive stuff from Dallin Hall in his first action of the season. Good to see him out there. He did play just 21 minutes, but he'll take that at this point. Jaeger Demon, actually a more muted performance for him. 8 points, 3 of 4 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. That's kind of a downturn in terms of the numbers for him through the first 5 games of the year. But guys who really, I thought, stood out for BYU, Foussenyi Traore. Now, Keba Keita was unavailable in this game. What I'm hearing is that it's not considered to be especially a serious injury. This is a sit out this game, and hopefully he's back for Ole Miss, but it's TBD on the lead up to that game against Ole Miss before he's back on the court. But the nice part is Foussenyi Traore continues to just get it done. 15 points to lead BYU in scoring on the night, 5 of 8 overall. He actually did attempt a 3 in this game that made me chuckle a little bit. He was 5 of 6 from the free throw line, but also adds a double-double with 11 rebounds. Foose, I don't necessarily think that he was all that keen on starting his senior season on the bench, but he's embraced the role he's taken on, and now he's been given an extended opportunity over the past 2 games. BYU has been the beneficiary of him going beast mode. So congratulations to Foose. Good to see him have another big performance for BYU. Also really liked what I saw from Dawson Baker, 5 of 7 from the field, ends up with 10 points in this one. Dawson is a guy that I think he can continue to get better and better as the season goes along. And I think his ability to come off the bench and be that scoring punch is a nice addition for the Cougars. And then also Trevin Nell. 12 points off the bench. You'll always take that from a guy like that. 2 of 4 from 3, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Also, BYU's free throw shooting overall as a team, much better tonight, 73.7%. Yeah, you'd like to see it north of 80%, but you'll take that. And then one other thing I should mention is that I forgot to mention Cannon Catchings. He showed, and speaking of Cannon, I felt like more offensive moves than I've seen this season so far. Some dribble, like you're talking like stepping into shots off of the dribble. It's not just catch and shoot stuff from Cannon Catchings right now. And that's what I saw in this game from him is he's able to shake guys, had some really, really nice takes to the rim. What did he end up? He ended up 2 of 3 from the free throw line. So you'll take that from him. 3 rebounds, 3 assists. So I think Cannon Catchings realizes that he can't just be a pure catch and shoot guy for BYU. If he wants to be a one and doneer, he's got to be able to show more of that to the NBA. The latest NBA mock drafts that I saw did not have him in the first round. At least the ones that I frequent did not have him there as he was in the preseason. Jaeger Demon is now like running 2 or 3, feels like, behind Cooper Flagg in a lot of the mock drafts. But I think a guy like Cannon Catchings showed more tonight of what a well-rounded player he is. Like I said, 14 points, 5 of 10 from the field, just 2 of 6 from 3. So not his best shooting performance from beyond the arc, but I thought he showed more overall in his skill set than just pure shooting, which has kind of been the hallmark of his run with BYU. So just overall, a solid win for the BYU basketball program. And now they head on the road. Now it's a neutral site affair. They head to the Rady Children's Invitational mid-season tournament event down there in San Diego this coming weekend. It's a big opportunity for 2 big wins if BYU can manage it down there in San Diego. Obviously, it starts off against Ole Miss on Thanksgiving, and then it's obviously depends on the results of how things go for BYU, but this is the first real test upcoming for BYU basketball. And that's where I'm looking forward to seeing what guys like Jaeger Demon, or I mentioned Cannon Catchings. I want to see what they're capable of doing against better opposition here, because BYU has been feasting on lesser opposition so far. I know UC Riverside pushed them. I get that, but let's be honest. UC Riverside, they're not same caliber as an Ole Miss, and also you could face off against either Purdue or NC State. Those are 2 other teams on the other side of that bracket in that Rady tournament. Rady Children's Invitational Tournament at Lion Tree Arena in San Diego, California. If you're in the Southern California area in San Diego for Thanksgiving weekend, hey, you may stop by and support the Cougars. It'll be a 3:30 tip on Thanksgiving Day, and then either 1:30 or 4 o'clock on Friday. So afternoon affairs, if you're going to be doing things with the family on the holiday or on Black Friday. But there's a big 3-game stretch upcoming here for BYU. Once again, Thursday, Ole Miss, either Purdue or NC State after that. And then you have to travel across the country. The furthest travel BYU will make all season long, I believe, is to Providence out in Rhode Island as part of the Big 12 Big East battle. It's a showcase event they have put on for years between these 2 conferences, who are considered to be probably the 2 most preeminent basketball conferences in the country. But these 3 games, I think, are going to tell us a lot about BYU and what to expect when they go into the Big 12 season coming up at the end of December. Because these 3 teams, they're the caliber of a lot of teams in the Big 12. Now, I would say the Ole Miss and Providence are probably bottom tier Big 12 teams at this juncture, but there's no reason to think they can't more than test BYU and show the Cougars, hey, this is what the level of football you got to be able to live up to and compete with. Because if you can't, well, that's a problem. So a lot riding on the line for BYU here. So kind of positive with the good out there with BYU basketball getting the W, BYU football fighting back in the second half, but coming up short. I think you can take some pride in the fact that they fought back, but at the same time, you want to see BYU football get a little quicker start. That's the one part about this, is the disappointing factor, as you look at it and say, what could have happened had you done a little bit more in that first half? But there you go. So just kind of a rambling postcast, my thoughts, kind of getting them out on the paper. It's on video or audio, more like it appropriately, but that's what I got for you guys. So thank you for all your interaction. Apologies, I didn't get a chance to kind of split these 2 postcasts up, but family duties dictated I sit down and knock it out all at once. And as always, cannot thank you guys enough for the interaction on social media, in the Locked On Cougars Insider group, and just overall, all of your patronage and your support of the podcast. It means the world to us, and it means that we get to keep doing our job here. That's the best part about this. So thank you, as always, for making Locked On Cougars your first view and or listen of the day. And as always, thank you for being everydayers right here on the Locked On Cougars podcast.